Let me just feel into this. Okay. So, Liz, what kind of beginnings do you have?
Oh, that's an interesting question. What kind of beginnings? So I have a question. What do you mean by that?
So,
Beginnings.
yeah, no problem. So, like every day is a beginning, like at 12:001, it's a beginning of a new day. And when
Mm,
we're born, it's a beginning. When we're
mm,
conceived, it's a beginning. And
mm,
we might move to a new school, it's a beginning, or meet a new
mm.
person and it becomes a friendship. That's a new beginning. So anything really in life, it could be a town, a place, a property, a birth, anything that's a new beginning. And you don't have to answer, of course.
This is interesting. So what's the question again? I'm going to
Yeah.
write this down. This is so
But
interesting.
maybe right on target with this one then.
Yeah, it looks like it.
It's funny, isn't it, how these things happen? I know. And I just kind of tune in, and it's kind of a constellation way of tuning in that I do. And somehow I seem to find the right things. I just trust. Okay.
Yeah.
So the question is, what kind of beginnings do you have? Because they could be explosive, they could be quiet and timid, cautious, jump in with both feet into the deep end.
Yeah. That's actually quite timely, really. No surprise because it's you, Kaz. I guess like I wasn't sure if it was about what beginnings I've had, which have been many, many, many. But where I'm at now in terms of beginning, a lot of them, a lot of them have come from being a bit reactive more than responsive.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Not a
That
lot
makes
of them. I
sense
would
to me.
say half of them because I get impulsive and I think I hear somebody, I get inspired by somebody, I learn something new, and then I thought, oh my God, the client, she would love that. I need to send that, or I need to bring that into my practice. And then I'm not realizing that I'm changing and tweaking things. So there's, I guess, oh, this is interesting. Because I'm just now, I've made a decision yesterday for definite. I was going to be creating an online course and I'm just doing a beta, what I've just told you about before when we were talking. And so the beginning is, it's the first time I'm going to offer something so intense. So it's a new beginning for me. And it's opposite to what I was jumping into offering this online course because I wanted to get to many people versus having a couple of conversations and then realizing, oh, actually, before I do that, that's more content based. I want to do this, but am I worthy of that? So there's something I think about beginnings and, excuse me, this is a good question.
And if you want me to talk at all to help, tell me. And otherwise, I'll try and keep very quiet because I butted in earlier.
No, it's so good. No, if you hear anything or because I could just be waffling off a tangent and just say anything anytime, Kaz.
Okay.
So I'm noticing then that sometimes my beginnings are reactive and sometimes they're not. I have a lot of beginnings, usually after aha moments, because I'll change something or I'll do something a bit different. I've got lots of new beginnings at the moment with acquaintances online. I wouldn't say friends, but acquaintances in terms of now being like-minded. And it's more around, offering services, but, it's a different language now. So that's a new beginning. And also for me to feel worthy of being connected to one or two groups. I'm not with many, but I feel more equal now, whereas I never used to before.
I'm interested in your cough, Liz. I'm wondering if there's maybe something trying to come out that you're not quite able to get out. That might not fit for you though, because you've had a few moments of having to clear the throat, cough, have a sip of water.
Yeah, I would agree, because my throat's fine and it wasn't.
Yeah,
And that,
before we started.
oh, that's interesting, because I feel it now.
What does it feel like?
It feels pluggy.
Yeah, like you've got to clear.
Plugged with, yeah.
Try and clear something.
Yeah,
Get something out of the way.
Yeah.
Of your voice.
Yeah.
And what you said before that I noticed that I wanted to say was, you sound like you see something new and you think, oh, I love this. I'm excited by this. And you kind of react to it. And I wonder if you almost lose sight of what you're doing because this other thing's so exciting.
I do, Kas.
Kind of lose sight of you.
Yeah.
And your work. And that cough's still there.
Yeah, it is. And that definitely happens because I'm with a business coach at the moment, but she's a psychotherapist. So it's about my business. And we were saying how there's a lot of this information that's out now about, neuroscience and quantum stuff. But a lot of it, like, is old stuff that's, and she said, I wonder what, because I was saying to her that I'm realizing, so I feel like, if I learn the wording of that will be more understandable for the client, because they can better explain it. I can be with it and in it. And when there's two of us sitting down, powerful stuff. But she was saying, so it's information and it's what you've been working with for years anyway. And it was like, yeah. Oh, yeah. And that's when I started to realize about the client, like what happens there. It is me that's showing up now and not relying on theories that come in, maybe, but it's actually being really with the other person. So this, where I'm at right now, is a really big new beginning. I haven't drawn up anything about it yet. I feel a bit scared about it, but that's not the throat thing.
Okay.
That's not the throat thing. Okay.
So that's but you are
I feel it here. Yeah.
More lower down.
Yeah. It's like the same clucky feeling.
Like a bit grungy.
That's it. Yeah.
Did you say gluggy?
Yeah, but it is gungy.
I don't want you to change your word though.
No, it describes it better. It is gungy. It feels like it's
a bit of gunge in here.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. I don't want to come in my head. I want to come from what's going on, because thank you for the opportunity, because I've obviously got something going on about beginnings. I mean, John was 72 last week, and we are both going to be leaving New Zealand next year. We're going to Aussie. And in my world, that feels okay. I know that I'm 62, he's 72. And then some people, where we're going to is the Gold Coast, and we don't know that many people, but some people are saying, is that not a bit odd to be starting out? And it's like, it's not really starting. It doesn't feel like starting out to us. Is that Like, do you know anybody there? And like, no, not really. You got family? No. And
They're really questioning you.
yeah.
People are questioning you.
Yeah. And like for us, we do need to downsize. We've got a beautiful home. We do need to downsize, and it's going to be an apartment in the Gold Coast. And then on the Gold Coast, like, oh, isn't that a bit busy? And you're like, aha, that's why we're going. You know, so I'm wondering if that's something that, and we just see it as that, well, John's struggling more than me a little bit just because of transition, but we just can't manage this place anymore, you know, and he's certainly, yeah.
So the place you're in now is beautiful, but too big.
Yeah.
You've chosen where you're headed. You know you're going in a roundabout here. And then suddenly everyone around you starts questioning you.
Yeah.
Almost like saying, are you sure about this?
Exactly.
That's the ulterior.
We've not got a lot of friends, a few acquaintances, but not a lot of friends. But whenever you see it or we mention it, it's almost, there's only two people that have said, oh my God, that's amazing. And there's only two people that have said that, but everybody else is responding that way. So now I'm not saying, do you know what I mean? But it did make me doubt, but it's like, no, it is life. We want to go out living life fully.
Absolutely.
And there is a two of us, and when we get there, we'll sort it out. Like when I pass, he passes, whatever. Yeah, so I don't know if there's something about that's eased a bit. Oh my goodness.
Oh, good. Something shifted.
Yeah.
It's less.
It's still there, but it's less.
Yeah. And these
wow.
Those who have been kind of don't know what you call them really, doubters, questioners, putting downers. They sound like they're putting you down, trying to reduce you somewhat.
They're not doing it unkindly,
but they're doing it.
Yeah, that's true. They are.
And when people do that to us, it can be quite a distraction, and you've experienced the distraction because it made you question yourself.
Yeah.
And thought, I'm not going to say anything anymore, which has gagged you.
Oh, far out.
What happened then when I said it's gagged you?
That's what this is, trying to gag it, to push it down.
Yeah.
Like I'm gagging myself.
And when sorry.
No, go on. No.
I was going to say, when people try to reduce us in that way, I'm wondering if they're worried about what they might lose when you go. I'm wondering if you're showing them something that they're too frightened to do, like holding a mirror up to them. This is what I'm doing. And immediately in them, it's like, oh, I'm too scared to do that thing I want to do. I'm just staying put because it's safer. You know, it could be anything that's going on in them, but they are trying to reduce you, I believe.
Pardon me. Oh, that's interesting, Kaz, because I'm noticing now it was me that pushed this, because I knew as an occupational therapist that I worked with so many people that had to leave their homes because they couldn't manage anymore. And I did not want that for John, because we've got this 10-year thing. And I started noticing things in John. And then a few weeks ago or months ago, just in the garden, he hurt his back, he hurt his shoulder, he was agitated. And I knew that was the time. I was like, not waiting until it gets really bad.
Yeah.
And I said to him, I said, John, this is it. I said, I don't care where we live, but we've got to be doing, because I've been talking about it for, I don't know, maybe 5 years. Excuse me.
No, it's fine.
What does it feel
like now? Sorry to butt in.
It's getting more gungy.
Okay, good. you all right with me saying good? It's like good.
Absolutely. Yeah, because I understand that.
Yeah.
And I appreciate this because I didn't know it was around. And then, so this place has got John's stamp on it. I mean, we've been here 20 years, everywhere, every room, outside. I've moved around a lot in my life. John hasn't. And I
Did
know
you
that
move
he's
into this
ready.
house with him
Yeah, both of us. It's the
at the
longest
same
place both
time?
of us have been. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So it's the longest place both of us have ever been. And I know in my heart it's the right thing. I really do. I do know in my heart it's the right thing. But of course he's, and he's been over there and he gets it and we come back and we've got a lot to do. And I guess it is a new beginning and it's a little bit scary. Like he's 72. Do you know what I mean? And he doesn't want to be anywhere because I said to him, where do you want to live? And he's like, I don't want to be anywhere in New Zealand and in a house because I'll always be sorry and regret that there'll be nothing that matches this. Because for us, it's like we're poor or we were poor, as in like not having much at all as kids.
Yeah.
And then we've worked a lot for what we've got. And it's not that, financial, it's the house that will, you know what I mean? We've got a house in a lovely place and blah, blah, blah. And we've never had that before. And I
So
guess it's
parting
70.
with that, is that quite a big thing?
Yeah.
Because that's going to be an ending, Liz.
For
You know, we're talking
John.
about endings, beginnings,
Yeah.
endings. Leaving
Yeah.
the house will be an ending.
Yeah. And I see that and I get it. And every morning we talk about, different, but so there is. And I said to him, look, John, I want you to tell me how you feel. So most mornings he's still waking up feeling a bit sick. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And thinking,
Sounds right.
I know. Yeah. And I know he's ready because we've just come back from a holiday there. So, he's ready, he's on board, we're making moves towards. He doesn't want to see all the jobs or the lists or all the things that we need to do. I said, that's fine, I can do that, But so I know it's going to be the best thing, but I guess you don't know 100%. And I guess it's a beginning for both of us as well, where we've got good friends here. I mean, and they've moved, and one of them is going to Aussie as well, on the other side of Aussie.
Okay.
So it's interesting that there's not a lot here anymore for us.
Yeah.
And
the doubters, those who are questioning you.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, is there anything you might like to say to the doubters?
I guess, it is their stuff. It's just, it's all good. We've thought about this a lot. Mm-hmm. Thank you. It's busy. That's why we're going.
Yeah.
Great transport. And they tell him we know we've been doing, we know where we're going, we know what we're doing, and we like the life, we like the vibrancy, we like the colours. Mm-hmm. That's why we're going. So the things they have been, and I've just been honest, and I've just said, that's all good.
Yeah.
That's all good. And I changed the subject.
Right.
Because I found like I was justifying it, what it was doing.
It sounds like you're defending.
Yeah, but then it was also placing me back into the whys. Like John loves a transport system there. He loves that you can walk along the beach and then you just get off when you want to. You don't have to go in a circle. And we use the tram like 2 or 3 times a day. And there's the vibrancy, and we've connected with the local RSL that have dancing on a Sunday afternoon. So we already know we're going to do that. And we've met some really nice people, and we're going for fun, and we want to see out our life that way. So in a way, it reinforced. And now I just smile. And when the first person said, oh my God, that's amazing, the Gold Coast, I love that. And I was like, really? I'm like, oh my God, you love the Gold, tell me why. So I can feel this easing. And I suppose it is it is a beginning for John as well. And he's not going to be able to do his work. He's an accountant, so he does a few things. And is there's a couple of things that activate his mind that he won't be doing. I mean, we'll find something for sure, but I guess I'm a bit concerned about that.
So is he
So I guess,
retiring from accountancy?
yeah, I mean, he's semi-retired and he's really good at what he does, and he doesn't charge a lot at all. Do you know what I mean? But he likes it, stimulating.
Yeah.
He's been doing it most of his working life, well, all of his working life, he's been an accountant. So that's a biggie for him as well, to let go of that. So there's lots of.
Sorry, I seem to have lots of questions now myself. Does I have to keep doing it? To stop, because I'm thinking there's lots of businesses. There's going to be loads of businesses where you're moving to. It sounds like a very, lively city. It's going to have a lot going on. But
I won't be able to do as accountant. He'd have to re-register as accountant in Aussie, and he'd have to sit some. Yeah, it's not that he doesn't. Yeah, it's not that. It's what it would take to have to do that. It's like, I don't want to be having to do exams again and get my bit of paper. I've been doing it for. But he knew it would happen. Do you know what I mean? He knew he would be retiring at some point, maybe the next 2 years.
Right. So
I guess I suppose when I think about it, Kas, there's lots of beginnings for John.
And what about you?
Yeah, I found out. Oh, isn't that interesting? I've got emotional now.
Lots of beginnings for John, but what about you?
Got these emotions. Wow.
Can you just go with it? Just allow them?
Yeah, I'm just really amazed. Okay.
Just let them flow. Just allow them.
I guess the beginning or the stepping into is stepping into a new way of life, because I don't want to work as much as I have done, because I want to spend time with John while we're still healthy and we've got each other. And I've never quite been able to manage to do that. So it's really important that I give myself permission to work less so that we can enjoy this big move together. That's the whole point. And I guess for me, the beginning is I'm stepping into who I am and making big decisions about not working as much. And
What's that like, please? What is it like for you not to be working as much?
It actually feels a bit scary.
I
thought that I would feel like, but yeah, what did you say?
Maybe depended a little bit on your work, perhaps?
Yeah.
I don't want to put words in your mouth.
No, because it was the other day the coach said, I'm doing like learning about spirituality and or spiritual, the inner child, that the being is from love. Then that's the spirituality that I'm talking about. And she said, do you need to share that with everybody before you learn it yourself? And I'm like, oh, I share everything with the clients. And she went, she's great. And I was like, my goodness, everything I learn for the client, which really is not, it is true, but it's not, because it's by proxy.
Yeah.
So I learn it and benefit because I know that I still do that. There's not a separation.
So it's more for them than it is for you, almost. You go to it and think, oh my goodness, this is going to be fab for clients.
Everything.
And you give
I know that
away?
I do. Yeah. But it's really gives me permission to do it for myself. Do you know what I mean? So in this newness, it's like, I suppose I'm a bit scared, Kas, gosh, this is the beginning, is that I've got these ideas. Yes, we'll have these long walks and we'll have these lazy days. And then maybe I'll have 1 or 2 days of working or half a day or whatever. I don't know what it's going to look like. And in my mind, I had, what if that's not enough? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we go on holidays and I love John so much and we really enjoy each other's company, but it is a holiday. And I love the idea of just walking on the beach. Like if it's the morning, let's just spend the morning doing that. And then maybe, and I think probably that's why maybe I was trying too quickly to push for an online course where I'm not ready. I want to work with people on one-to-one because I've just done the betas or still doing them. So I want to do the intensity of the work. I didn't think I did, but when I come down, it's still about working with the person. And I get concerned about getting too busy and then not creating this lifestyle that we and John are moving for. All right.
Is this helping as you process?
Everything's cleared.
Your chest is cleared. I said, I haven't heard you cough actually now you say it.
Yeah, my throat is a little bit, about a 2, more here, about a 2.
So higher up, but
oh yeah,
not so much here at all.
no.
And it sounds like you're really getting some clarity on what you do want.
Yeah.
And I think I detect a slight bit of something, doubt or fear or something about that, you know, how will it be? And is it going to be enough?
Yeah.
What's happening in your body?
I've got some kind of, not butterflies, but a little bit of activity in my tummy.
Mm-hmm. Is that below you, where your ribs meet, or further down, or
Further down?
Okay.
Wow.
Is it like butterflies?
Feels a little bit icky.
Okay. So it sounds like your nervous system's active.
Yeah.
You know, that fight or flight, we get ready to empty our tummy, empty our bowels, empty our bladder. Gets a little bit wobbly.
Yeah.
Maybe you're flushing something out, Liz. But I mean, again, I don't want to put words in your mouth.
No, I feel like I am, because I feel like I feel exactly that actually. Gosh, you're onto it.
You look as if you could take flight. You know, when you're doing that, I'm not sure what you were doing with your, yeah, in that beautiful top of yours, ready to take flight.
Yeah. I wonder if that's what it is, Kaz, that I feel like I've been in reinventing myself, not reinventing myself, but trying to find myself and all of this stuff and whatever. And then a couple of years ago, you know, there's always aha moments and whatever. And then I'm like, am I really this person or am I really that person? And I don't think about it a lot, but I guess because we're making this big move, it's like, oh my God, we can go for these long walks in the morning. I could work in the afternoon or work in the morning and then have the afternoon. I could do 2 days a week. John and I do want to play. We like the simple, and we were saying when we had a great holiday, brilliant holiday. And I was saying, oh my God, I would be embarrassed. I wouldn't. Maybe I would. I said to John, if somebody said to us, what did you do for the time that you were away? And we're like, oh, we did this and that. It would sound so boring. We had a ball. We had an absolute ball, and it was so simple and it was so easy. And I think I've made things complex and complicated in my life where it doesn't need to be. And even with the clients that I'm going to work with, I want to do one-to-one for 6 months, which is for every week, because I'm realizing this, the weekly stuff can shift. with the beaters, they're amazing women, and we're adjusting because we know we're working and creating together. But I've made things complicated. We're giving them lots of information and lots of little ebooks, like loads of information. But the power has been when we're together.
Absolutely. That
And I'm
relationship.
wondering, yeah, that's the power. And I'm like, oh my God, that's how I want to be
Yeah.
with another. That's, yeah. And that's a new thing that I really can see it now.
Okay.
Without going the line of like, oh my God, this will help you that way. And I've done that. And we've had a laugh between us. And I'm like, oh my God, and more. And like some people say, stop, Liz. And I'm like, okay, then I will then. And we're like, what about this bit? So it's been really nice.
Yeah.
It's not me thinking I'm a big, bad, wrong person, which has not been helpful. But we've been able to tweak things and learn. And now I'm realizing, yeah, so I guess it's just because it is big beginnings, Kaz, in many ways.
It is a very big thing when we have a new beginning.
In lots of ways.
Yeah.
Which means there's a letting go of, like you were saying about John, and like, I'm ready now. I get it. I mean, there'll be a few tears and all the rest of it, but I get it. For John, there's a night more, and he's going through that process. But we had 20 good years here, loads of lovely. And I said, but John, wherever we go, we'll have different memories. Do you know what I mean? It's like we've changed the way that we live in the house, the lifestyle that we have. We don't have the big parties anymore. We don't, because we used to have big parties and like lots of them. And we just stopped that a few years ago because it was like probably before COVID. And anyway, I'm waffling. But
No,
yeah,
you're not
different
waffling,
changes.
no.
I guess it's letting go of an identity as well. Not only just in my practice, but in the way that we lived life.
Yeah.
And this part of our next life is the last part. Do you know what I mean?
What's that like to say that?
It's scary. I've been there, but it's the truth. It's like,
Last
fuck.
part.
Yeah. And like John's older than me, 72. And now when I hear people like passed away at 75, I'm like, that's so young.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, because he's fairly fit and healthy, and for our age, not an athlete or anything. And it gets scary, and it's like, but that's the truth. And we're going to go out living joyfully. When I get there and we've settled a little bit, I'll be getting the will sorted, everything sorted, the burial, cremation we want. That's going to be all done. Power of attorney, everything done. We'll get a next, I've been thinking about that anyway here.
Mm-hmm.
But it is the last part of our life. And, there's a sicky feeling to that.
Is that
but
still
also
there in your time? Is it still there?
Yeah.
Is it more? Is it less? Is it the same?
It's more when I think about losing John.
Yeah. I can really see and sense the emotions.
Yeah.
No wonder.
And I think that's why probably people are surprised that we're going. Like, there's no family, you don't know anyone. Like, yeah. But it is what it is. And we've both spoken about it. Like, this is our life. This is how it is. And we're getting older, and it's a last chapter. But we're going out, living it as well as we can.
Yeah.
And with more ease as well.
Yeah.
We're not looking after the place because it's a biggie.
Absolutely.
And so I suppose that's that beginning and ending the other way as well, isn't it? Wow. The beginning of this next chapter, which is our last chapter.
You feel
we're not waiting in God's waiting room or anything.
I was just going to say, it feels very definite for you that this is the final chapter.
Yeah.
And I mean,
it's going to be a great one.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. It sounds wonderful.
It's going to be a great one, but it is the final chapter. Do you know what I mean? I mean, our lives and John, we're getting older. So, but both of his parents, they, even though they were ill, one of them, there's longevity there. None of us are on any medication. Neither John or I are on any medication. We don't have any major injuries. May get a sore back or a sore shoulder, but it's not like major injuries. Yeah. We're pretty vibrant in our minds, and
Well,
Yeah.
I've got this hanging around, so I'm going to say it just in case, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So imagine if it wasn't the final chapter, but it's the next chapter. What would that be like to think of it like that? Or is it just an absolute that this is the final chapter?
Good question. I guess the final chapter means it's the final place that we imagine that we're not going to go into a living place. I would, because there's lots of activity and a lot of cool stuff to do. John doesn't want to do that because it reminds him it's people die and they go, and he doesn't want to be in that environment. So the apartment will be, we imagine the apartment will be the last place that we'll live in.
Got it. Okay.
So interesting. Because there's going to be a whole new life and we'll be living it.
Absolutely. And I can hear that. It sounds wonderful.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. It's the house. It's the apartment.
It's more about the house, the place.
Yeah. Yeah.
You and John's lives.
Yeah. I mean, we are getting older and that's going to happen, but we're going to go out living it. It's the place. It's probably going to be our last place.
Okay. And how does that feel?
That feels all right. If I'm being really honest with you, Kaz, who knows which one of us is going to go first? But if it's John, I'm not sure it'll be my last place.
Okay. Maybe that's the resistance that I've been feeling because I've had a lot going on. What's that like to say that?
Yeah.
If John goes first, it may not be where I finally reside. You may have another chapter ahead of you after that.
I don't want to think about it without you.
It's really painful to think about saying goodbye to John.
But I've felt that all along. Yeah. I've felt that all along that we say this will be our last place. And I'm like, yeah, it will be, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm like, if you go before me, it won't be my last place.
Yeah. So you know that if you outlive John, it probably is not going to be your last place. Who knows what's ahead for you?
Yeah, and I'm open to that because I don't know.
We don't.
No, but I doubt that it will be there.
Okay. And I just want to check that I haven't put any words in your mouth or any ideas in, because the feeling in me was quite strong. And I was remembering a relative of mine who actually retired and at 60, possibly 65, went to Africa and did 15 years out there setting up clinics and working with mums and babies and
so cool.
And then came back and did, other stuff. So, that was around as I was listening and I felt the resistance in me. And so we don't know. I guess we don't know, but.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, I'm only 62.
Exactly. You look amazing as well. You keep saying you're 62 and you look so much less. And I know you're very playful and fun and you're creative and you've got all this incredible knowledge and you love your work.
I feel very, very lucky. And I feel blessed to truly have my life and well-being, Kaz, because it was so dark. So it feels a gift. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, we can't buy it.
No. And the older I get, the more I realize, like, whoa, so much going on in the world. And now before I had to suppress myself because I felt like, how could I be happy when other people suffered? So a long time I wouldn't allow myself because it felt like I didn't care about others. If I was living in my bliss or my joy or whatever, it felt like I didn't care. And I know that's all the story. Whereas now I get, geez, we need to, that you've been given this life, Liz. Like, people would die for what you've got, and you're just going to like push it away because you feel it's wrong. And that now I understand about vibration. You know, you lifting your vibration and your frequency and your energy, so that even smiling at somebody or your own energy is not toxic. And they don't know that. A person doesn't know. It doesn't mean they're going to like you or whatever, but you take responsibility of yourself. You know, you're doing the best that you can. That's yours. So that helped a lot. And I do appreciate, and I thank you so much, Kas, because I hadn't realized that. I guess it's not, yeah, there is the idea that I might outlast John. And if I do, I kind of don't want to, but I know that I'd be all right because I would. Do you know what I mean?
I feel
I would.
certain of that. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I do get that, but yeah.
Have you had a conversation with John about what if you go first? What would you like for me? Have you had that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we have. And I'm like arranging the funerals. Do you know what I mean? Like, we don't want anything that was going to be here. And it's like, don't ask me. And I'm like, hey, I'm going to ask you because you need to help me when you go, and I'm going to help you, sweetie. And then we don't talk about it anymore. So I've been trying to do that kind of thing, and
you like to be organised and have those boxes ticked, and
yeah, because it's going to happen. Because it's not going to happen. Do you know what I mean? And then it's off. It's done. It's like, okay, when one of us go, here's a letter, whatever, contact the person who's going to be the executor. We haven't got anything. We'll just have the apartment, split it in 4. Do you know what I mean? John's kids, my brother and sister, done. And now if we pay an executor, they take it out of the whatever. People don't have to worry about the UK. We don't have any valuables and stuff like that. So it's simple.
Yeah.
But it needs to be done.
Yeah. And he's resisting a bit, but you're really getting on with the job.
Oh, yeah. And when we get there, it'll be done. I'll give us a few weeks to settle in. But I want me getting it done. Because then I feel that I'm helping him and myself and our families. Just keep it clean and tidy, because it's not going to happen. It's just timing. Yeah. And then we get on with it. We get on with life. That's it.
Get onto that beautiful beach.
Yep. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are you doing? How are you? Just check in. How are you?
Oh, wow. I feel like even from, wow. I can feel a burp coming up, which is my way of releasing.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, it's
a good one.
Yeah, me too. It's working its way. Sometimes after I'll get big burps and I'm like, oh, that's great. John, he knows now anyway, but I'm like, oh my God, that was good. Wow, Kas had no idea I was sitting with all of this. And especially as now we've made a definite decision, we are.
Yeah, you're going.
And it's happening. It's just, wow.
Lovely.
Thank you so much. Who knew such an innocent question? I love your questions so much.
I know, my questions do this, don't they?
Yeah. And you're so intuitive, and you inspire me to trust myself with the client.
I'm really glad.
That the work is with the client.
Yeah,
you know, you're thinking on stuff and you're holding it. You know what you're doing, and you know what you're holding.
Yeah.
And the purpose of it. But where the client goes is where the work is. That shifts dominoes of everything else. Oh my God, I've got to think, Lee.
Yeah. It's
you are just affirming for me doing what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to offer.
Yeah.
Thank
and if
you.
ever it gets, you're welcome. If ever it gets to that point where you decide you do want to do an online course,
I will do, but not yet.
It doesn't have to be a self-paced thing. I don't know if that's what you were thinking, Liz, that if you did an online course, it would be self-paced.
Yeah.
Because mine aren't. I'm in it with people. And you've experienced a little bit of that with things.
Yeah.
Where I'll look at something, I'll say, oh, that's interesting. What's that all about? And we have that conversation. And I do that, like in my goddess thing, my goddess group. I put the stuff out there. There's 82 modules now. Oh, fantastic. That was a good one. Brilliant. It's out.
It is.
You birthed it. How does that feel? Is it good?
It was really good.
Fun?
Yeah, because when it does that, that's just natural. And it's like, whoa, like it's done.
Fantastic.
Wow.
The stamp on it. Is there still a little bit more there, maybe?
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
But it will come later.
Yes.
Thank you.
No, right. So
Yes, about
you can be in it with them. That's what I am. I'm in it. I never leave anyone. Well, some people do choose to do self-paced. That's entirely up to them. But those who are really committed to the change, to the work, to the, the transformation, they're in it with me, and I meet them wherever they're at. Every one of them goes through the same process. All the stuff's there. Every one of them has their own unique responses to the stuff, to can't think of the word, my content, couldn't think of a word. Everyone has their own unique response to everything, and that's what I work with them. I work with that.
What, one-to-one or pop?
Some of them do one-to-one, but in the group, through comments, and everyone else gets to piggyback on that. It's very powerful. It's hugely powerful work.
Is it, so they pay for the online course and self-paced, but you have a group and you comment in the group?
Yeah. The self-paced is a kind of one-off thing. They buy it and go. And rarely connect with me. Some will get in touch and say, I really need to book in and have a session with you. But most people will sign up for the monthly, which they can leave at any time, but they can get into the group with me, and that's when they start working through all the content in any order they want, and nobody has the same reaction to the stuff. Everyone has their own unique experience, and that's what I work with. I meet them where they're at, always, and we work through that, and everyone piggybacks on that. It's like, oh my goodness, I didn't even know that thing, and they join in, and that everyone gets something from each other's stuff.
Wow, I can't quite picture that, but maybe another time.
Yes, I'll explain, because I was just thinking, you can have your online course, and you don't have to just leave people to it. You can be in it with them.
So is it like a monthly membership you have?
Yeah, yes. If they want it.
Got it. And then do you do group calls?
No.
Oh, wow.
Because everyone's around, it's 10 o'clock at night for me, and it's early for you. So around the world, we've all got different time zones. So if it's in a group, though, they can post whenever they're ready. They post whatever they've been doing. Journaling, any artwork, whatever they've done. You don't have to do art, you don't have to do writing. And then that's, as soon as they tag my name,
nice.
I then comment, and then if they're there, if it's the same sort of time zone and we're there together, we can have that conversation there and then, or we just have the conversation as it flows. And sometimes we've had conversations on one thread that have maybe had 170 comments back and forth, focusing on that one thing. It's very deep. It's very deep. Yeah.
That would be amazing, because
you can do that.
Wow, Kas, that would be really. Oh, I'm going to look at that.
Yeah. What I mean by that is, if I can produce that, you can produce that for your people.
That's what I'm wondering. I never thought about that. I think you're amazing.
Because I've done these groups since about 2015, 16.
Oh, Kas, you've just opened up a whole new world.
Yeah, it's just so you don't, because I'm terrible for, I hate people to be limited. So I kind of open things up for them. I do everything I can to make everything big and spacious and huge for them if they want it, which is why I shared that with you. so that you know you could do the same as me, you could do it this way. So you still have that one-to-one connection with everybody, and it's online, and you can
Wow.
still walk on your beach. Like I can, as long as I've got
Wow.
this, as long as I've got my phone, I can be in London, I can be wherever I want, and I can still work with people as long as I've got Wi-Fi.
Oh my God, Kaz, that would be amazing.
And it is. The connections are amazing, even though it's online. The connections that they're so like. Most people will say they feel like they're in the same room as me, and when they watch my videos, they feel like they're in the same room as me. It still works online.
Oh my goodness. And that's like a monthly membership.
Yeah,
Love it. Oh my God, thank you so much. You've opened up like for next year so much, Kaz.
you're
Wow.
welcome.
Then that deep stuff can happen.
Absolutely, it can 100% happen. 100%. It works
Kaz, that's honestly,
online,
that's fantastic.
and
Oh my God, Kaz.
and when it's written down as well, because everything in my groups, they're written down, and people can go back and go through the conversation. So when it's talking, people can forget, and it's like, oh gosh, we were together for an hour and a half, and I can't remember what we talked about. Something happens inside, but they can't remember the content and this moment and that moment. So they can go through it all again, read the conversation again and again. It's just a thought.
No, I love it, Kaz. And I've wondered about membership before, and I thought I wouldn't have enough content, but there's a lot of creativity stuff. I've got loads of content in different ways. And you were saying about 82 modules, and I was wondering I wouldn't be able to service it, but I think that's another thing. But anyway, you have opened up my world like this, and I am feeling so much better
I'm so glad.
and clearer, Kaz, and I honestly didn't realize how much I was sitting with.
How are you doing? Where are you with all
Oh,
of this?
amazing. I can't tell you how grateful I feel, how clear. There's nothing, and
I'm so
maybe a
glad.
tiny little bit.
What
But I
was
feel
that? What was
amazing.
that then?
There was a little bit, yeah, just as I was swallowing, there's a little bit of something.
Yeah, just
But
right
for
there
me,
in the
that's
middle.
one.
What's it like? What is it?
It feels thick again, that a bit
That
gungy,
energy again?
but just a little bit there. That's all.
Yeah. And is it hard to
Feel.
swallow? Are you trying to swallow it away, or
Yeah. It's a bit actually.
what if you didn't try to get rid of it and just noticed it for a moment? If you could tolerate it just for a moment.
And I'm noticing that I feel like I've taken up a lot of your time, and you haven't got many answers to some of the questions. I'm aware of,
Fine.
like,
It's fine.
yeah.
It's fine.
It just feels like gluggy.
Yeah.
Oh, hard
As if you would, what was that?
to swallow.
Harder to
Yeah,
swallow. Is it like there's a marble stuck in there or something? What's that like? Harder to
yeah,
swallow.
it is. It's just here, and it's like
Mhm.
a lump of gunge.
Yeah, just sitting
It's
there.
not hard, thick gunge. That's what it
Yeah,
feels like. Just a little bit there.
yeah. And is it like you want to just get rid of it, like swallow it away or something?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're swallowing, and now it wants to come up as
yeah.
well. So it's like
Ah,
battling.
an impasse. Yeah. So you want to
Oh,
swallow it down and it wants to come out.
yeah.
I wonder what it might want to do if it came out.
Isn't that interesting?
You don't have to go in any particular way, of course, up or down or as it is.
It's almost like I need to swallow it so I can breathe.
Ah, yeah.
I'm just going to let it be there, which
Uh-huh.
feels a bit scary.
This is what my dentist said to me once because he was doing those impression things. And I said, but I won't be able to breathe. And he said, Cass, you can breathe through your nose. So I'm just sharing that with you so that
Thank you.
You can breathe through your nose whilst that's there if it feels a bit scary.
Isn't that interesting? Because I really, 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 really want to swallow and I'm not. But the nose, that was really helpful. Like, I really want to swallow. Oh,
And you are allowed to, of course.
I'm just curious about what would happen.
Yeah.
I had to swallow, but it
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
feel
yeah.
as gungy.
Absolutely.
It didn't feel as gungy.
No, it's less gungy. And I think some people will call this, it's a funny word, globus hystericus. It's like
Oh,
global hysteria, which basically it's like an anxiety response, a stress response that we get here.
ah.
And it's a very common, very unpleasant thing. Some people will say it's like a marble, it's like a golf ball, I can't bear it, get rid of it. And I think it might well be muscles or something, all tense in there, but it's a very common experience when we're stressed. How's it doing in there? How is it?
It's still there, and at the
Yeah.
same time, I feel a burp trying to come up.
Okay, cool. You burp away. We'll hope for a good one
Yeah, it's. I think it will come. Yeah, not yet, but
when it's ready.
it's
It'll
that
pop
interesting.
out.
Yeah,
It's still there, but not.
but
Did you
not as
say
thick.
as thick?
Not as thick.
Not as thick. And so I'll let you know something as well. If you and I were to say goodbye and you go off and do whatever and you get busy and you're distracted, you'll forget all about it. Just to let you know that, because some people feel like, oh, I've got this for life now. I've
Oh
had,
yeah,
I get
yeah.
it often, and I know I've got something to process when I get it. It's like, oh, here goes. What is
Mm.
this? Yeah. Can I speak to it? Would that be
Yeah.
a funny thing to do?
No, no, that would be cool.
And you can say no to me, can't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And would you? You would
yes,
say no.
yeah,
Okay. So if I ask you to lend your voice to the gunge, if you're willing,
yeah.
and I say, hello, Liz's gunge. How are you doing? Sounds like you're kind of stuck here in Liz's throat. How are you?
I am stuck and I don't want to be here.
You don't want to be here. Where would you
No,
like to be?
I'd like to be in the bottom in my stomach, in her stomach.
You want to be down in Liz's stomach.
Yeah,
Is it not possible to get there?
no,
Doesn't feel possible.
no, it feels like I've got nowhere to go.
Oh, hmm. Nowhere to go.
No,
And right now you are in Liz's throat.
yeah,
Would you mind if I ask Liz a question?
no, that would be okay.
So, Liz, I'm asking you a question now. How do you feel about this sponge that would like to be in the bottom of your stomach?
It makes me think that there's something really important that needs to come out.
And you had a
And
feeling of wanting to birth again, didn't you?
yeah,
But nothing was coming yet. Nothing's coming yet. No. But it feels this is very important.
It's like the gunge doesn't even want to be there.
Yeah, it said that, didn't it? Well, the gunge said, I've nowhere to go.
Yeah, if it can't be in the belly. But it's not going to be able to get into the belly for some reason this time around.
Did you say for this time around?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's been there before.
Yeah. Mm.
I'm just wondering what it must be like to not have anywhere to go.
Bit of a burp.
Good.
Probably.
Keep going.
It feels lost.
Hmm. Lost in your throat.
Yeah.
It doesn't want to be there. It wants to be at the bottom of your tummy.
But
And
it
I
wants
think,
to be there because it's not noticed.
oh, it's not noticed.
Oh, and another thing,
Yeah.
when it's in the throat, it's more aware of itself.
So
And
when
it's
it's down,
stomach.
it's not seen.
No.
Well, we're really seeing it now. Well, we're really noticing it now. You and
Uh,
I. Sounds like it's sad that if it's, not seen, keep going.
yeah. There is a sadness about it's almost like it's about that size and it's sitting in there.
Mhm.
But when it's not there and it's in the stomach, it doesn't even see itself. It
Yeah,
doesn't
just
even know itself.
disappears almost.
Yeah. I'm
Loses
hot. Just
sight of itself.
yeah.
But at least here, it knows it exists.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how
Something
it
like
feels.
that.
Yeah.
And is it okay to call it an it? Because I said it. I hope that's not offensive.
It's not offensive, but it feels like it would like to not be in it.
Of course. And I wonder what would be a good,
Yeah.
what could we call this sensation if it isn't an it?
Just feels like goo.
Mm, goo sitting there,
Just a thick
wanting to
goo.
be noticed.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Because if it's not there and it's in the stomach, it just disappears.
It does
It
want to be
becomes,
noticed.
it does want to be noticed.
Yeah.
Well, being seen and heard is very important. It seemed to if I remember correctly, and I might be wrong, but it seemed to come quite quickly when we were talking about the excitement of being able to
Yeah.
have an online course where you can connect with people, not a self-paced thing where they're just left to their own devices.
Yeah.
You got very excited, and it may not be connected at all, but I'm just remembering that.
Yeah, definitely. There's a fear of that. Like,
A fear of
doing it that,
really putting it out there,
yeah,
doing it that way.
yeah, I'd love to. You know, it will be next year, but I would love to do it that way. And why would you have, like, you know, what about the content? What about this? What about that? But getting excited and loving it because I feel like you're talented and
Are you
got so much.
comparing yourself with me, Liz? Were you feeling like you were comparing?
Yeah,
And
not comparing, but like, I suppose it is a comparison, isn't it?
because you've got your own way of doing things and you've
Yeah.
got your content and your knowledge, and there's loads of it. You were joking earlier. There's loads of it. They're saying, not anymore. Stop. Please.
There it is. I just will.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you've got volumes.
Because that is eased. Isn't that
Oh, I'm so glad.
interesting?
What's happening with it now? I'm sorry to say it again. What's happening?
It's just not thick and gooey, and it's not even like that anymore. It's not the it anymore. It's just, wow,
How are you doing?
amazing. I'm noticing from today, oh my God, when we tap into what's in my heart, what I'm really excited about, and it feels possible, that's when a reaction comes.
Yeah,
Like when I can really feel like, oh my God, that would be amazing. I could do that.
yeah.
And then
And
it's
then,
like, then a reaction
yeah.
comes.
And it kind of limits you and holds you back, distracts you. You're all
Yeah.
distracted about this rather than I'm going to have a membership and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that.
And I keep putting off about a membership, and some people say, no, don't you? You haven't got content, this, blah. But what you're saying, I'm like, I would love that. Okay. So when I get really excited about something, that's something to look out for. When I can feel the possibility, like
Yeah,
it's it's me, like, oh my God, that's a
yeah,
great idea. I could do that, but really feel it. That's when stuff kicks in.
yeah. And gets in the way a bit. Don't mean to be
Yeah.
rude or offensive towards this that happened in you, though. But
No, like
that's what
honoring it.
happened.
So why would that be happening?
Well, it's a distraction to keep you small. It's a bit like the people that are saying, the Gold Coast, really?
Yeah, yeah.
It's a distraction. I've actually got a video on YouTube about distractions. I'll try and remember to send it to you. Well, in case you want to
Shall
watch
I
it.
just, yeah, shall I look it up? I mean, you're busy. Shall
It's
I look
just
up
there.
path and distraction?
It's probably it's probably called distractions, knowing me.
Okay, I'll look it. I'll do that because you're busy enough, Cass. But thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
definitely will. Oh my God.
So when, these things come along to get in the way and scupper us, and it could be, an enactment of childhood, I don't know, maybe when you were little, you'd get a great big excited idea about, I'm going to do this, and somebody would cut that down. Oh, no, you're not. We don't do things like this in our family. That kind of critical parent stuff that goes on about belonging, and we've got to fit in and belong, because if we don't, we're at risk. We have to
Yeah.
belong in the community, etc., etc. So just be normal like everybody else. All that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow. Wow. And what I'm realizing now as well is when I get that, I'm excited. If something like that precedes it, it means that I am on track, and that is that is genuinely in my heart what I would want. So it really is a way of saying you're on track.
yeah, yep. And that's just there to try and limit and dilute you down. And you can maybe say, hang on a minute, I have a very big pair of boots, actually. I'm just putting them on.
Oh, yeah. Do. And sometimes I'll say I'm putting my big girl's pants on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Wow, Kaz, this has been amazing.
I'm
Absolutely amazing
I'm
today.
glad.
And how much of this would have gone amiss had you not picked up on it?
I mean, it's just a question it's the very first one I wrote down. And I use that it's a kind of constellations thing where we try to just tune into whatever's coming through and trust it and say it or write it down. And it tends to be right. And, it was just that one question, wasn't it? And we've had all this from it. Amazing. I've loved it.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Thank you so much.
You're so, so welcome. It's a pleasure to spend time with you.
I'm so grateful. Honestly, it's like,
I can feel it. I can feel it. Thank you. I feel it. I'm letting it soak into me.
Wow.
So I guess I'm just looking at the time. It's nearly 10:30. And tomorrow morning at dawn, because I'm an owl, I don't do early mornings. Well, I do, but not that early. I'm going to Newcastle. So, it's an early start. So I've got to get up and get away in the car early tomorrow. So I would love to carry on, but I'm going to have to bring it to a close very soon.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And hopefully I've still got at least 11 more questions on there for you. If you want them, do say.
Anytime, Kas, anytime. Honestly, anytime. It's been amazing. Absolutely amazing. And Kas, it's amazing because like people will see your magic and the power of it.
Yes, yeah, of course. It's a two-way thing. Absolutely. Yes. Yeah.
So, and what you've done for me is immense, like such a big turning point. Personally, professionally, I just feel so different and can be with John. And thank you so much.
So welcome. So welcome.
You do get some sleep before you go to Newcastle tomorrow and have a good journey.
I know I'm going to have to really put myself into bed and say, go to sleep. I really am. I could be up happily till 2 a.m. I must have been a nightmare child to get to sleep, to get to bed.
So grateful for you, Kas.
Oh, it's just a pleasure to be with you.
Yes.
Just check in. How's your whole body? How's everything? How are you?
Feeling amazing. Feeling amazing.
All of that's shifted?
Yeah. Yeah, that's incredible. And it feels really nourished.
Excellent.
Really nourished and tended to. And I don't think she has ever had that attention before. And to be accepted just as she is.
I'm so glad.
Wow.
Wonderful. She needed to be noticed and allowed space to exist and not to go down there and just dissolve into nothing and not be seen.
Yeah.
That would be devastating. And it creates shame.
Yeah.
To be ignored creates shame. So I'm glad she's been noticed.
Me too. Me too.
Wonderful.